we went from the most boring election ever to the most insane, exciting election that's ever possible. Okay, a lot of things in this update I want to talk about. A lot of things have happened since the last time we talked. Now, first things first, Trump gets shot in early July. He gets shot at one of his rallies in his ear. He starts bleeding. A lot of Republicans thought that he would be going up in the polls. It's like, yes, now everybody will be empathetic towards Trump and he'll gain more numbers. That didn't happen. Okay, maybe it happened for like a day or two, and then people forgot within a couple weeks. It's all over. Now they also had the RNC convention, which was a complete mess. I laughed when this guy came out. Hulk Hogan is up there ripping off his shirt. It's insane. It's like Idiocracy, right? If you guys have ever seen the movie. Anyway, also what happened was Biden drops out of the race, and I didn't think that would happen. I really didn't think it would happen. I thought they would try to push him through, but he dropped out, and it looks like people talked to him, and he was convinced that he ought to leave, which turned out to be fantastic for the Democrats, as Kamala Harris is now the Democratic nominee, and she's just killing it in the polls. Okay, her and Tim Walz is her VP running mate. Now, the running mate with Trump is JD Vance, and I'll talk about that later a bit more. But Harris and Walz, the campaign, in the first 24 hours of them campaigning, they raised $36 million. Okay, that's a heck of a lot of money. That shows excitement. Okay, people are super excited about Tim Walz right now, especially Gen Z. He's a bit more progressive than, you know, any other Democratic candidate that she could have picked. Now, JD Vance, as Tim Walz alluded to, he wrote the foreword for the upcoming book. They're gonna the whole Project 2025 teams come out with. They're coming out with a book which, by the way, they're not going to release until after the election. What does that tell you? They're trying to hide it from you, right? Like a kid that did something wrong, and they're like turning their head every time. Their mom's like, "What do you do? What did you do, boy?" He's like, "Nothing." They're trying to hide and suppress Project 2025 so much. It's so obvious. Anyway, JD Vance, Trump's running mate, wrote the foreword for the book. Okay, so don't tell me that they aren't in favor of instilling Project 2025. They are, and that's why Trump is trying to deny it so bad, because they know it hurt. They know it hurts them. Okay, so they're trying to suppress it until the election so they could sneak it in there. Anyway, polling shows Kamala is making a really great run right now. Since the assassination attempt, Trump was still up in the polls, and then Trump picks JD Vance. Kamala was still, they're neck and neck. And now, after the launch of the campaign, after Tim Walz was announced, oh man, it got shot up. Like, Kamala went up, is now 2-3 points above Trump, which is really, really exciting to see. In fact, some polls show her 8 points above in the general election. 8 points above Trump. Now, RFK, he's also still in the race. I don't know why, but he's at 6%. He hasn't changed in the polling much. I thought he would maybe, but he didn't. He's still, and I'll talk about a little later, that he's still drawing support from Trump towards Kamala. Also, recently, a very recent poll in the swing states shows that Kamala is beating Trump by 4 points in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. These are key swing states that she has to win, or she should win. And if she gets those 3 states, oh, it's over for Trump. It's over for Trump. And she's up in the polls right now in those states. And you can see poll after poll after poll shows Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania are doing really good for her. Now we can see the rallies. Their recent rallies in Pennsylvania and Arizona, Michigan, they're off the charts. They're getting tons of support right now. Okay, they really hit it off with the Walz choice. And the funny thing about this is that Republicans are going crazy. Republicans are losing their mind on Twitter, okay? Even Trump is like, it will be interesting to see how loudly Joe Rogan gets booed the next time he enters the UFC ring. Now, the funny part about this is that the entire Trump campaign is collapsing in front of them. Even conservatives who liked Trump in 2016 are now going, dude, what are you doing? Right? He's not campaigning as frequently. He's going crazy on Twitter. He's rambling in his rallies. His campaign is terrible. He picked the wrong candidate. A lot of people don't like JD Vance. A lot of people are, mocking him for his couch statements and all that stuff, and him being weird, right? And it's working, and people see how ridiculous he seems. Another thing about this is that Republicans are trying to say that Tim Walz did a bad job in Minnesota during the riots, during the George Floyd riots. And it was like, oh, he let his state burn to the ground. And the funny thing is, recently audio came out showing that Trump actually called Tim Walz and congratulated him for responding the way he did. He said he's very happy with Tim Walz's response. So they can't use that excuse anymore. So they also a few days ago, there was a slight dip in the stock market, about 2%. And everybody's going, oh my God, it's the Kamala crash. And it was trending on Twitter, the Kamala crash. Even Trump was like, see what happens when Kamala gets in, the stock market crashes. And then 2 days later, it's back to normal, okay? It was just a correction. It was not a crash. The economy isn't doing bad at all right now. Next, we have a lot of Republicans. And also trending, which is a good sign for the Democrats, is Republicans for Harris. And there's something brewing that we haven't seen since probably Obama. A lot of Republicans are now going, wait a minute. This Tim Walz guy and Harris, they ain't too bad. I mean, at least they're actually talking coherent sentences. Maybe this Trump guy, he doesn't represent me anymore, right? There's a lot of Republicans moving to Harris, or at least, moving away from the Trump train. Now, this is a betting market, which isn't totally accurate, but even still, okay, a lot of people bet here. A lot of money's poured into this, and Kamala is winning still at 52%. Over Trump's 46%. Okay, the trend is in her favor, the Democrats' favor, and you can see here, after the campaign started, Kamala shot up really crazy, and now she's beating Trump. I think this momentum is going to continue for a long time. She's almost ahead in every single poll nationally. And I'm extremely confident that Kamala will win. I think people are really underestimating how excited people are, especially Gen Z. Also, we have the DNC convention coming up. That's in like 10 days. The RNC convention, any positive effects of the RNC convention are now just withering away. It's all forgotten, right? Whereas the advantage of having the DNC later than the RNC is that now Democrats can shine even more. That could be a boost. So everything's being configured in such a great way for the Democrats right now, okay? And the right continues attacking. And the funny thing about the right's attacks on Walz and Harris is that they don't work really well. They actually sometimes backfire, right? One of the things, though, that they're saying is that, Kamala isn't interviewing as much. Well, she's campaigning. First of all, she's vice president. She's still busy doing that. I'm sure she's doing some tasks. Also, she's campaigning. Also, we already know her accomplishments. We already know that the Biden campaign's accomplishments and what they stand for, okay? Kamala Harris is not a new person. Anyway, also, a lot of the Democratic sentiment is, hey, we just want to maintain what we have. We want to maintain the rights we have, right? Because the Trump campaign, their entire vision is everything's bad. We have to destroy. We have to take away rights. We have to take away this. We have to take away regulations. Take away. Well, Democrats are like, no, why not just maintain what we have right now and add a bit more and build upon that? And it seems like the Trump campaign is running on this hate campaign, right? They're running this hate campaign where they just want to like destroy everything and dismantle everything, dismantle education, the Federal Reserve. They want to dismantle everything. And that's not a winning campaign. That's not how you win votes. Also, Trump and Vance aren't campaigning together much. It's like Trump hired him to just do things for him, right? Like a little assistant. But I'm sorry, the fact that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are campaigning together, that's just way stronger, right? That's just a way stronger optics. And by the way, Trump isn't doing much campaigning until like after the DNC, which is another 9-10 days from now. So Trump's pretty much going to be doing nothing for the next 10 days. Not good. Back in 2016, the energy was there in the Trump campaign, okay? They were campaigning like crazy in 2016. I remember this. They were campaigning all the time. There's Trump rallies every day. That has changed. And it seems like in the last couple of days with the press conference that Trump had at Mar-a-Lago, he had no energy. He's getting old, guys. Okay. Trump is old. Trump is showing signs of cognitive decline. Okay. He's stuttering. He's forgetful. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He just lies and lies and lies the entire time. And that's not good. Now, looking forward, what do I predict moving forward? Well, guys, there's a lot of things that can happen, but I predict that Kamala's campaign will continue to gain steam until October. Now, there's going to be a debate coming up on September 10th, and I think that's just going to help boost Kamala a little bit more. I think that Kamala is going to do good in the debate. Also, Trump has a sentencing trial on September 18th. Okay, and that's not going to go good for him. I mean, he's probably going to be sentenced to like probation and things like that, maybe in community service or whatever. But the point is that Trump's going to use that sentencing as like a way to change his rhetoric about the election and say, well, they're trying to steal it. They're trying to steal it from me. It's a sham, right? He's going to continue that rhetoric, and he's just going to continue to lose supporters. He's going to continue to lose independents. Nobody wants to hear that, okay? Trump is complaining right now, okay? Nobody wants to hear Trump complain. They're bad, they're bad, they're bad. That's not how you win. That's not how you win elections, okay? The reason why Trump won the election in 2016 is because he was present, he was out there, he would bring the energy, and he said, "Make America great again," and everybody loved it, right? People loved it. Now that's all gone. This isn't 2016 anymore, guys. And this is why I think Kamala is going to win in a bigger landslide than even Biden would have won. And I still maintain that Biden would have won if he continued the race. By a small margin, he would have won. It would have been a very close race. However, Kamala's campaign, they're doing a really great job, and they're responding to people very well, especially with the recent thing during her rally where there was Gaza protesters, and that happened once. The second time it came around, her response was way more sophisticated, and she said, "Let's do a ceasefire." Okay, that is a smart decision she made, right? She's listening to people. That means she's listening, and that's what you need. Okay. So, to summarize, Democrats are in a great position right now. Things can change. However, I think Gen Z will carry this election. I think it's still, like as I've maintained since the past two videos, Gen Z is going to control this election and carry it. Okay. I don't think people really understand how excited Gen Z is to have these candidates, Tim Walz and Harris. People don't understand just yet. We're going to see it in the next month or two, more and more of this. But by the way, like Gen Z aren't picking up the phone to answer polls. Okay, that's reserved for the older folks. Okay, they're not really represented in the polls that much. Okay, so I think that With all this happening for the Democrats, it's a great state of affairs right now. And I think they're going to continue to lead in the polls for the next month or two. Then it'll obviously, equal out a little bit more, and it'll be stabilized until the election. But I think that the Democrats are going to secure the win at this point. But things can change, and I'll keep you updated with more videos going forward. But thanks for watching. See you next time.